It's time for another Switch video. What's up, dudes? It's Justin from TZR. I felt like it was time for another Switch video, but before we get started, I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers that we've had over the past few days, whether we met you in New York when we went to the Nintendo New York store, or if you've come from CND or Triforce's channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are awesome, and I really hope that we're able to provide some really sick new content for you. And to start off, I was thinking of doing a new video about the Switch. Now, we are like 18 days away. It is ridiculous how close we're getting to this thing's launch, like 3 weeks now or something. And like with most new console launches, I'm starting to bug out a little bit. I've kind of recklessly taken the past few weeks and been pre-ordering new games and accessories for the Switch furiously. And I think some of it's well-founded, some of it might not be, it might just be me getting caught in the hype, but I sort of wanted to take a second now to reflect on some of these pre-orders and purchases that I've made to see if they were really worth it or if I'm really just getting caught up in the hype. So this video is going to be me breaking down all of the stuff that I've pre-ordered so far and sort of my rationale behind them. And I want to see if you guys might have made similar decisions, or if really everything that I've been pre-ordering is just totally useless and I'm just going crazy. Like, Justin, calm down, it's just a new system. But I'm just like, no, I need all the stuff. So anyway, let's do a quick run through of all the stuff that I pre-ordered so far and sort of why I made the decision to do those things. Well, first and foremost, we've got the Switch, right? The one that I picked out was the blue and red controller variant edition of the console. Now, this is no hate towards the gray one. I think the gray one's totally cool. It's got that classic look to it. But when I saw those new colors, I mean, come on, I had to have them. We're talking TZR blue in one of these, and a really sweet looking red too. Like, I love those neon colors. So I had to pick up that one. I was the first one in line at my local retailer, getting that pre-order locked in, and that was the one that I ended up going with. I just think the different colors are so cool. Like, being able to more cleanly differentiate P1 and P2, I think is awesome. But shortly after, my OCD took hold and said, Justin, this is a terrible decision. Why would you get two different color controllers on your Switch when you're going to be looking at this thing all the time? There's not enough balance. We need some feng shui with this thing. And I answered my OCD with item number 2 that I pre-ordered, which was a new set of Joy-Cons, the alternative blue and red versions. So now I have one full set of blue, one full set of red, so my mind can be at ease, and I can put those two sweet blue ones on the side of the system, and it's going to look super dope carrying it around. I'm so excited about that. So my rationale behind the extra set of Joy-Cons, even though they're like $80, which is ridiculous, but I figured I wanted to have at least 4 of the little half Joy-Cons so I can play full multiplayer with all my friends and stuff when they come over. Super Bomberman, Mario Kart. I want to be able to have that versatility where if people come over and they want to play, we can just start tossing Joy-Cons out left and right and everyone will be able to get in on the action. But probably the stronger reason is because I needed the symmetrical blue and red controllers, you know? Another big part of it is not only did I want to have the 4 half controllers, but if we're going to be properly playing 2-player co-op, you know, Allie and I, my girlfriend, we play a lot of games together, and when we do, you know, we need a proper controller. Those matches of Mario Kart get pretty heated, and using this little half Joy-Con, while I'm sure is very functional, is not going to serve the purpose for some hardcore competitive Mario Kart. But you might be saying, well, Justin, are you just going to freehand these 2 Joy-Cons while they're going around? Well, of course not, because the next thing that I pre-ordered was the charging grip. Now, as we all know, the Switch itself only comes with one of the regular grips that does not charge. Personally, I don't think that this is a big deal. Those little Joy-Cons, if you check the spec sheets, are like 20 hours worth of battery life each. And they're going to be charging every time you're done playing on the side of the console, so it's all good, right? But I figured since I had the charge one, and I'm going to have these 4 sets of Joy-Con, when I slide the two blue ones on the side of the controller, because you know that's got to be the standard, right? I can put the 2 red ones in the charging one, plug that into the USB in the system, and then bam! All of my controllers charged 100% of the time, we're good to go. And then also it gives us the option to have 2 full proper controllers when we're playing 2-player co-op stuff. So I really like the sound of that. The next thing that I pre-ordered, this is when it goes into sort of like indulgent territory, and I think that this is victim of a hype, so tell me if you agree or not, but I did end up pre-ordering a Pro controller. Now, the price of the thing is absurd. I will be the first one to say $70 for a straight-up controller is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And from what people have been saying, the quality might not be as great as what we see with like PlayStation or Xbox or something like that, but my thought was, having this alternative playstyle, if I wanted just a proper controller, you know, I'm going to need to have the equipment. However, I think the main thing that drove me to purchase this was just a scarcity thing. Something's telling me that when the Switch comes out, the Pro controllers in particular are probably going to be hard to come by. It might also be because the retailer that I was getting all of my pre-orders through, they actually said that they were only getting 4 Pro controllers in total. I don't know if that's the case for all retailers, but that was the case for this one, and I kind of feared the future where future Justin might have said, oh man, it would be really cool to have a Pro controller, and then not be able to buy one. NES Classic all over again? Come on. So that was my next one. Maybe it was just hype that made me get that, or this idea of scarcity. My fight or flight kind of took hold, and I was just like, alright, let's just get it. Let's just do it. So the next piece that I got will make sense as we go into a further description, but the next piece was a case for the Switch. I got this sweet Zelda case. I'll put a picture right here. This sweet Zelda case that the Switch will fit in. It'll fit all the little game cards, and I really, really wanted to make sure that I had a case for everything because this is a portable console, you know what I mean? I'm going to be taking this thing on the go. I want it on me probably most of the time. When I think about putting that naked screen just in a backpack, that just bugs me out. I just can't do that. And I'm not the kind of person to put like screen protecting plastic on it. I don't know why, it just like, it bugs me out. I just don't like it. But as case, it was necessary. It has to be, you know what I mean? If I'm putting this thing in a backpack, I need to make sure that screen's okay. I need to make sure that I have all of my games on me, and we know that only 32 gigs isn't going to be enough to download everything, so, you know, I'm going to want those cartridges. So a case was crucial. Now I know what some of the more savvy consumers are thinking right now. They're saying, Justin, well, if you pre-ordered the special edition of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you know, it comes with this sweet Sheikah case, right? And to you, my viewer, what I say is, you're right. That's a sweet case. I saw the pictures. It looks really cool. But it was at this point that I started to think, okay, let's think cost-wise now, right? The special edition, now not the $150 version with the sword and all that stuff of Breath of the Wild, looks super cool, but the special edition is $100, right? $99. The extra stuff that you get with it beyond just the game and the case is like this little coin, which looks kind of cool, and the soundtrack, which is like, okay, but like that extra $40 for that price tag wasn't, like, I couldn't justify it, right? Like, it's just, it seemed like too much at that point. So what I did instead was, we got the regular version of Breath of the Wild, right? $60. And then the case was only $15. So that's not bad. In my mind, that made more sense. That just seemed like the right thing to do, so I was like, okay, here we go, done. So that does it for accessories, but let's move on to games, because this is where like the meat of the conversation usually comes from. When I talk to some of my other friends that are pre-ordering the Switch, everyone wants to know what games you're pre-ordering, right? So obviously, as I said before, first one, Breath of the Wild. It's a must. It's an absolute must. I mean, we're talking a brand new Zelda. We've all seen the beautiful, beautiful trailers with Link. I want to know what to do there. I want to know how to navigate to these new dungeons. I want to cook stuff. I want to find out what Zelda's crying about. I'm really excited to jump into Breath of the Wild. Day one, that's going to be my main jam. Breath of the Wild. So hyped for it. So the next game that I had to pick up was Super Bomberman R. Now there's a couple of reasons for this, and weirdly enough, I think I'm actually more excited about Bomberman than I am for Zelda. Now hear me out, because I know that's blasphemy, right? I love Bomberman. I feel like it's been over a decade since we got a really solid Bomberman game. I'm sure there's some on DS that I'm forgetting, but to have a brand new, fresh-looking Bomberman game is super exciting to me, but the biggest prospect of this, the part that makes it matter the most, is the multiplayer. I feel like the Switch is a console designed specifically around multiplayer, right? This is something that you want to take out, you want to share the controller with a friend, put it in a little tabletop mode, and play multiplayer games, right? And as far as like old school classic gaming go, you can't beat Bomberman. Everybody's played a Bomberman game. So it's like the perfect kind of multiplayer experience to get started on, and the easiest thing to just pass someone one of those little Joy-Cons, or if you're with a group of people, you know, I've got those 4, I could pass out all 4 Joy-Cons, and bam, we're playing an awesome local multiplayer match of Bomberman. I'm so stoked about that. The fact that there's a 2-player co-op campaign has me so stoked. Me and Allie are going to be all over that. Really, really exciting. So pumped for that. As pumped as I am for Zelda and that single-player experience, for getting the most use out of the console, like from a multiplayer perspective, Bomberman is my jam. And now this leads me to the last game that I pre-ordered, which is 1-2 Switch. I totally agree with most people when they're saying that it should be a pack-in title. I mean, everything we've seen from it so far makes it look like, yeah, this is totally a tech demo. This is just showing how the little Joy-Con rumble and motion and stuff works well, you know, in this kind of like tech demo sort of game. But for me, it's like, I feel like that game will act as sort of the icebreaker, you know what I mean? If you want a reason for people to play this, even non-gamers, I feel like the type of variety in games and the different sorts of ways that you can play allows you to kind of like host a gaming session in a really cool and interesting way. Like, the prospect of it is what has me really interested. I think it'll be really fun, and I think it's a great way to expose people to the Switch for the first time, because it, again, you can show it to non-gamers. It just seems like a fun, random activity to have when you have people over, you know what I mean? Like when me and Allie are hosting people, or we're getting together with the TZR guys, I feel like it's just going to be a lot of fun. You know, the week after the Switch comes out, me and the rest of the TZR guys are going to Boston for PAX East. You should check us out on PAX East. You should follow us on Twitter and this YouTube channel and our Facebook to see what kind of awesome stuff we have going on at PAX. Lots to look forward to, so definitely take a look out for that. But I mean, once we all get to PAX, to be able to have this Switch with us and have this instant fun experience, you know what I mean? But when we get back to the B&B or whatever we're doing, we can just sit down, turn on some 1-2 Switch, have a couple jokes, have a beer or whatever, and just enjoy ourselves, you know what I mean? So the prospect of that gives me a lot to look forward to. It's super exciting for me just from a variety standpoint. It seems like the right kind of game to have to break the ice with people on, so that's what I'm really excited for. Alright, so that does it for my pre-order list. Did I go too crazy? Did I get the right kind of stuff? Did you guys pre-order some of the same things? I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments about what you pre-ordered, about what you think is worth pre-ordering, what games you're looking forward to the most after launch. I'm just really excited to see how you guys imagine yourselves using the Switch and what kind of games you're excited to play at the start, and what sort of extra little accessories and things you want to get for your new console when it comes out. Thanks so much for checking this out. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.